Well, with all these changing, unstable weather and patterns, we're really seeing an impact on fruit and trees in parts of the United States. They're blooming earlier. That could have potentially devastating consequences for the health of the crops overall. CNN's Elisa Raffa has more now on how farmers are working to fight the freeze.
Fans cranking, blanketed fields. Georgia farmers are scrambling on this first day of spring to protect their crops from freezing after a record warm winter.
We have 18 acres of strawberries, and they're tucked in up under some pretty heavy blankets. And what that does is it keeps the frost off the top of the plants and keeps the blooms from freezing, but it also traps that ground heat.
Drew Eccles is a fifth-generation farmer. His family has been farming since 1912 with nearly 600 acres full of peaches, strawberries, and pumpkins. But in the last 100 years, climate change has been shifting seasons.
The biggest thing is it seems more erratic. It's kind of all over the place, and then you get 4 or 5 days of warm weather in February. There's nothing consistent about it.
J. Moore Farms now grows about 30 different types of peaches to hedge their bets against the uncertain weather.
It's all about the varieties. It's like we're trying to find these varieties that are going to be sustainable long term.
There are a number of crops like peaches and blueberries that require a certain amount of cold weather to really bloom effectively.
Pam Knox is an agricultural climatologist at the University of Georgia who works closely with farmers like Eccles.
If you don't get enough chill hours, the plants don't really know when to come out of dormancy, and they kind of bloom sporadically.
As winters warm in the peach state, pitted fruits have been losing chilling hours below 45 degrees since 1970, a key ingredient for a healthy bloom. Warmer winters like this past year mean spring is springing sooner. Much of the lower 48 has spring fever of 2 degrees warmer since 1970. This adds 2 to 4 weeks to the growing season, putting budding crops at risk to seasonal freezes. Last year, Eccles lost 70% of his peach crop to a warm winter.
We've had a 10% crop in 21, we've had a 60% crop in 22, and then a 30% crop last year. So fingers crossed, hoping for a good one this season.
And shoppers hear it ringing up at the register.
It absolutely trickles down to the consumer. And again, weather, that big factor, is the big factor when, that determines the size of the crop. But it's all those supplies, it can affect the consumer's wallet in a hurry.
Reacting just as fast was Eccles' attack on this latest cold snap.
Farmers are the first true environmentalists. We've got to take care of this land, we've got to take care of this air, and we've got to take care of the water. That's kind of my priority here on my farm, to do a little part.
In Alto, Georgia, Elisa Raffa, CNN.